We're on this with Marc Thiessen, Fox News contributor and a former speechwriter to George W. Bush. So, I mean, people from all walks of life losing their jobs because of these vile posts on social media. I mean, clearly celebrating violence reflects some sort of sickness in America.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is that just being reflected on social media, or is it being driven by social media?
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, I think back to the October 7 terrorist attacks, and many of us, I think you or I, were shocked at the level of anti-Semitism that came out. It was like we had lifted up a rock and all these anti-Semites came scurrying out, exposing themselves, celebrating the death on October 7th, celebrating the Hamas attack, calling for the death of the destruction of Israel. And it's like, where did all these anti-Semites come from? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a very similar phenomenon that's happening here, which is that after Charlie Kirk's assassination, a lot of these horrible people have come out of the woodwork and expose themselves as truly hating conservatives. It's not that they disagree. One of my kids, you know, the interesting thing about Charlie, he had such an influence with the young people. This was a news event where my kids told me about it before I learned about it. And one of my kids said to me, you know, they want us dead. I think there's a lot of young people who are looking at, and they see it's probably even worse than the polls, because they're experiencing this on TikTok and other social media.
So there are, Greta, some celebrities who are doing this. But for the most part, these are people who nobody knows who they are, and yet they decide to sit in their car and share their most intimate thoughts on TikTok, as vile as those thoughts are. What's driving that? Is it the addiction of social media? Is it some pathological, narcissistic desire to be noticed? What is it?
Yes. I think you've nailed it on the head. And what I found fascinating was the first day after Charlie's death, you saw all these people posting these messages, and then the next day they went out and posted these videos complaining about getting fired. It's like, what do you look? The First Amendment.
What do you expect?
What do you expect to happen? I mean,
you're glorifying violence.
Imagine if we didn't see this on the right, but imagine if after the George Floyd killing, people had gone on and said George Floyd was a POS and like that. I'm glad he's dead. I hope all black people get killed. I think we need more death of black people in this country. Do you think anybody would have employed them ever again?
No.
You go out and you celebrate an assassination, you're going to get fired. And you should.
It's interesting that social media is becoming much more callous. People used to hide behind the anonymity of screen names to say they're vile and hateful things. Now they take their phone and they do a selfie video about it. They post it under their own name. Yeah. It's like they don't care if they're anonymous or not anymore. They're out there spewing this rhetoric and they're putting their name to it. What has fundamentally changed?
Well, first of all, I think some of them are regretting it now because they're finding out that they're no longer employable. And by the way, it's not just like this is not a problem just on the fever swamps. These are doctors, nurses, college professors, teachers. One of them was the head of a school, like a superintendent of a school system. I mean, these are the people who are responsible for caring for us when we're hurt, for teaching our children, for educating the next generation. And they're celebrating the assassination of somebody just because they didn't agree with. And by the way, somebody who treated them with so much respect and humanity despite his differences. One of the things that distinguished Charlie is that he went and he treated everybody with respect. He went out and wanted to engage people who disagreed with him and affirm their humanity.
Okay, so there's all these calls to lower the temperature, right? You got John Fetterman saying you've got to stop calling conservatives fascists. You can't do that. I just want to finish off with this. Randy Weingarten from the American Federation of Teachers is hosting a seminar tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time, Teachers Against Fascists.
It's unbelievable. You know, it is a problem. There is political violence, but it is a problem on the left. When YouGov poll asked, do you support using violence against people for political beliefs? 9 out of 10 conservatives said no, they don't support that. Almost a quarter of people who say they're very liberal said yes, and another 20% say that they weren't sure. Almost half of people who consider themselves very liberal either support or are indifferent to political violence. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, and the younger generations are the ones for whom it's most acceptable, which is really frightening. Mark, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.